Good afternoon. Um, like all of us, there's many roads along the way, and we never really realize when something important is about to happen to our lives. There was a clear starting point in my life and my career, and in love that I fell in love with hospitality. At 15 years old, a friend of our family invited me to go to New York to open a coffee shop. And I was raised by a single wonderful mother who taught me a lot about virtues and values. And I was the youngest out of six. So the idea of going to America was pretty incredible at the time and really excited. But at the same time, I would leave my family behind. So here we are, two guys going to New York City to open a coffee shop. Unfortunately, the business didn't succeed. So Francisco went back to Brazil, and here I am at the age of 15 years old in New York, and I wasn't quite sure what to do. So I thought of one person that I could call that can help me with that. It was my grandfather. I spent all my summers in Brazil, in Santa Catarina, at the beach with my family, breaking bread, sharing memories, going out to the beach and having lunches, South American families fighting and making up and doing all those things that as we do. And when I called him, he told me, without any hesitation in his voice, he said, "Do not come back here. There's nothing here for you. You have an incredible opportunity, so stay there." I stayed. But my survival instinct, I think, kicked in. I went to get a cup of coffee. I went to get a bagel that I loved. And I got the New York Times. Back then we didn't have everything in palm of your hands. So we actually had to get the New York Times and find what restaurants were going to be able to hire me. So I hit the pavement. I went everywhere. And I got a trial. And I found a job in this beautiful restaurant in Columbus Avenue. But I want to track back a little bit here. The important thing at this restaurant, I learned connection with the coffee shop. Now I'm learning. I didn't realize at this point, but this restaurant here is going to change my life forever. So now at this restaurant, I am working in this beautiful restaurant. I'm dressed well. I'm able to be part of the team. My little job as a busboy has become of a value. I'm part of the team. We break bread every day. What I mean by break bread, there's a lot of parts, but I'll tell you one is eating food, but being part of something, a memory that we share together. Now, I noticed that I'm able to do this job really well, and I can interact with clients. So now my English is improving. I'm better at my job. I'm getting paid well. Head waiters love me because I'm the quickest busboy there is. I'm the little boy from Amazons, from the jungle, which I've never been to the jungle because I grew up in São Paulo. But that's what they call me. I'm like, okay, fine, that's fine. It will be that. And but I'm just part of this team. And now what I'm learning here is that hospitality is very much part of life. Every morning we're given these opportunities to wake up, and it's a new day. Whatever we happen in restaurant business, we say we are as good as our last service. Our last service is as good as we are. So, but today we get improved. As a restaurateur, you want to give the best product to your clients. You want to see that face. I mean, it's kind of weird. Sometimes I hide in a corner and I see they're enjoying that meal. They enjoy that wine that she's talking about. And we're not upselling, but we're offering something that's important, that we're not trying to take advantage of you. There should be value. There should be atmosphere. But it's also should be something, it's about welcome someone that's coming to your house. If you're coming to my house, first thing I'm going to do is open the door and I'm going to smile. I'm going to offer to take your coats. I'm going to know what you eat. I'm not just going to be, that's what a part of service is. So what I learned in hospitality is this. A lot of people don't know this. The difference between service and hospitality. Service is how you get the product from A to B. Hospitality is how you make a human being feel. So I fell in love with this process, and I fell in love, and I started working up the ranks, and I start really understanding what hospitality was all about. And as I'm moving up, at this stage, I move to California. In California, by a completely accident, someone asked me if I wanted to open a production company, and what that meant was to open a nightclub business. And we went on to open a nightclub business really young. He was 8 years older than me. And we went to open this nightclub business, which became really successful. We started doing concerts. We started doing sporting events. I started doing arena. I'll give you an example. I was in the front cover of the newspaper, and I was underage. I couldn't even be inside my own club. Okay, but this time in my life, I think if you add the nightclubs and partying and drinking and all that, there's a period in my life that I made all my mistakes, and a lot of mistakes. I mean, life will throw you setbacks, things that will happen to you. But I pretty much made all those mistakes in my life, and it took me many years in order to forgive myself for those mistakes that I've made. But I was really young and I was learning, and I really wanted to change, and I wanted to get away from that business and what I was doing back then. And I was very lucky enough to my girlfriend at the time, Heidi, who was my wife of almost 19 years, this November 16. She found something in me that was like, you know what? What I learned from her was unconditional love is the way to lead a life, and she changed me in a lot of ways. Not only she threw a lot of books at me that I had to read, and this time we got engaged, and we got married, and we moved to London, and we have 3 amazing boys. But at this time, I just felt this incredible stability in my life. I felt that, okay, I've done this, I've done that, but I just felt really powerful. I felt that, I'm a father. I have to provide now. I'm really going to step up now. Now I'm really going to work at the craft. Now I'm going to, play with the big boys. And where can I go? And what can I do? And what can I learn? So, as he mentioned here, I went to work with some of the best in the business and best in the world. And I want to talk about mentoring. Mentoring is something really important in life that I didn't have. I had my mom, of course, I had my grandfather, but for me, I found mentors. Martin Luther King Jr. taught me about the blueprint and keep going. And, and President Roosevelt and Nelson Mandela and players like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, who really work hard to bat, because you're not going to get anywhere in life without doing the work, whatever it is. And also, for the young people, sometimes, you're an actor, but you're a waiter, because waiter pays your bill. So as my mom used to tell me all the time, if you're going to pick up rubbish, you do it with a smile, and you do it with your pride, because you're part of society, and you're part of something that you should be doing. So a lot of people, and I have a lot of other mentors that I just read about it, and I want to find out. Even Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, guys that really struggle and had a lot of power in life, did so many incredible things. So here I am, and I want to talk about my real mentors now, who shaped my life. My mother-in-law, who I named the restaurant after, Margot, she taught me that kindness and paying forward is not giving money to somebody or giving your credit card, or it's just sometimes there's a little boy from Brazil that just might need some guidance, a word of advice, a shake hand, or just whatever it is, so you can be mentor for somebody. So here, she really changed my life in a lot of ways. I get emotional, but I promise I won't cry. My wife will be really upset. And then at the same stage that I am a dishwasher in New York, there's an incredible human being named Danny Meyer. You must have heard of him. He's the founder of Shake Shack. I was in love with him. I read his books, and I just fell in love with this guy. And I'm happy to say that today he's one of my best friends and a mentor. And what I learned from Danny, this is what I learned from Danny that was really important in my career, was that customers are not always first. Customers don't come first in our world. You come second. The most important people in our lives, if you're building a football team, you're not going to worry about the fans. You focus on the team. So this is what's wrong with a lot of businesses. Focus in your family. Focus on the people that you hired. How often, I remember working in restaurants where they use the word, not the worst, I shouldn't say that, the youngest chef to make you a meal. So you're eating this pasta that is not even cooked properly with the sauce that is disgusting. But what about if you spend, like we do, 100,000 pounds on food, so your staff have choices and they feel good about coming to work and working a double sometimes that we have to do and feeling good about that. Now, my third mentor, Daniel Boulud, we opened a restaurant together named Bar Boulud. Does anybody remember Bar Boulud? That's okay. It was inside Mandarin Oriental Hotel. Daniel Boulud is 15 years old. He moved to New York City. Today, he owns 21 restaurants worldwide. He's one of the best chefs in the world. And at this restaurant, we won 39 awards. We were number 82 in the world our first month. And so with Daniel, he embraced me. He embraced who I was. He embraced my abilities. And we became really close. The beautiful thing about Daniel Boulud is that he understood that food is important and everything you do with food, quality, value for the customer, but service, it was a really important part of what we did. So I was invited as a personality of a front of the house with three very well-known chefs and the filmmaker that was going to take us to a charity group that built fish ponds in Kenya. So they built fish ponds in Kenya in order to teach farmers how to be self-sufficient, creating a new economy, and also protein for the children and families. And the important part to raise as much money as we could to these incredible families and starting this community. They just previously built a fish pond on the previous year, and we're going there to harvest this pond. Now, what was incredible here is that we were to meet 3 different tribes. And the 3 different tribes are about 50 families each. So we went there, and the way they embrace you, the way they look at you, the way they smile is something that you don't see in here with all the things we have. The only luxury that they have is clean water. And these people wake up at sunrise to sunset. They work the land, sugarcane and potatoes, hard as they can. I worked for half an hour. I was pretty fit, and I was barely hanging on. And I just, the 4 of us are shocked watching what's happening here. We harvest this pond. It's meant to have 3,000 fish, but it only had 800 because they didn't look after properly the way it was supposed to. But that's the process of teaching them how to do it. Anyway, we harvest, the chef cleans all the fish, 800 fish went away, we save fuel for us, we're breaking bread. Breaking bread is they're cooking, we're sitting in down, having a conversation. The moment, put your phones away, folks. That the phone is not going to get you anywhere. Enjoy who you're with. It's not about the table, it's not about the wells going by or the ocean, it's who you're with. You're with that person for lunch, for breakfast, or for dinner for a reason. You know, there's no coincidence in life. So we harvest this fish pond, and I sat next to the main lady. In Africa, especially in Kenya, the woman does most of the work. And I asked her if there's anything that we could do to help you out. She stopped me and said automatically, we don't want any handouts here. We work very hard for what we have. And I said, no, I didn't mean that way. I was just wondering if there's anything. She goes, yes. I would like to have a hospital nearby when my kids get sick that I could, look after them well. Or a school that is not 2 hours away, so it takes them so long to get back and forth to us. That really shocked us profoundly. And we got in a car, we went to our hotel, and we flew to Tanzania. And as we're arriving in Tanzania, when you realize that your plane is underneath the mountain, and we were like, and we're climbing this? Anyway, it was really scary. But I'll tell you the last day, 6 days, the last day they wake you up at midnight and you have to climb for 8 hours in the pitch black. You don't see anything, you have headlights here. And as you're going up, all you smell is people throwing up because they've given up and they're coming down. And it was really scary as we're going up. And a part of the trip, as Ashley Palmer Watts, my friend, is in front of me, and they start crying. They start singing Swahili to get us going to the top. And we saw the curvature of the earth, and we got to the top, and we were able to raise a lot of money for these incredible families. And I'm really proud of that. So with my little story, what I wanted to tell you, take with you today, is that we're all here for service, one way or the other. Whatever you do, whether you're a police officer, a nurse, a doctor, we're all part of a community to work together, to be together. If COVID hasn't taught us anything, my God, it's like we almost forgot about that, patience and kindness and all those things. My favorite quote is coming up on the screen here. People will forget what you say. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. So following your heart is the most beautiful way. It's the most beautiful way to be inspired. You got to have passion in your body, and you got to have passion about what you do, because how often I see people go, I got to go to work. I get to go to work. I love my job. So it's so important. So life is about, in my opinion, collecting lessons and to uplift and inspire the next generation to be the best that they can be and pass everything that we know to each other. So breaking bread to me is this important moment that we're so busy running our business. We're so busy doing so many things. But whenever you have time with a friend, a loved one, just enjoy that moment. Because as I step out here today, I don't know if I'll be alive tomorrow. So you just got to remember that every day is a gift that will be given to us. So looking at all those little threads that put my life together, it's just like going back to those families. The little fish pond will nourish generations to come. And if I learned anything from those people, is that being grateful for everything that you have. It's like my life real. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Thank you very much.